Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, also from my side. My name is Rene. I'm International Product Manager in Rapul, and it's a big pleasure for me here today to speak about rapeseed. And also, before we start, a small thank you also from my side to this Latvian Seed Association for the invitation, but also a big thank you to Scandagra for the chance to speak here about rapeseed. The invitation was with a clear request to speak about rapeseed breeding and impact of hybrids in comparison to open pollinated varieties and farm-safe seed. It's a question which, unfortunately, we have to discuss here in the Baltics. I'm coming from Germany. We don't discuss this topic anymore because we have somehow 98, 99% of our seeds are hybrid seeds. So the question is now why we're discussing that here in the Baltics. And point is that we have different issues. There is definitely on one side climate change. Climate change, quite boring topic, but we see it here really strong in the Baltic market, especially if we compare the last two autumns. We see that a little bit on the screen when we look to these maps. Then the scientific forecast for the future is clear. It will be warmer, especially summertime, very important August, and it will be more wet in autumn time. So if that will somehow work a little bit together, rapeseed is growing like hell. We have political changes. I have read this morning that somehow 20 years ago we had more than 700 pesticide ingredients listed. So the forecast for 2030 is that we have maybe 150 left. So there's a clear, strong decrease in the availability of solutions for us outside in the field. Definitely the most biggest point for us here is insecticides, as we're struggling more and more, especially with these spring pests in early stage after winter. What else? We have then changes in the appearance of new pests here in the market. A couple of years ago, when we discussed this launch of turnip yellow virus resistance, there was a strong push of these aphids, but we also see now more and more stronger push also by flea beetles. So also environmental changes. And finally, not only since this kind of crazy war in Ukraine, we have a very volatile situation on the market with up and downs for fertilizers, commodity prices, and so on. So quite difficult to manage to plan the rapeseed. What is the solution? Quite easy. Innovative breeding, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to provocate you a little bit with the next point. I don't know what you are feeling, but breeding is the only thing what will help you in future if we keep in mind that there will be less and less support by pesticides, fertilizer, and so on. So it is breeding. Just want to know, maybe a question, hand up, who believe me that breeding is the solution for your challenges? Yeah, at least a few. Thank you very much. Let's go forward and have a look here on a 20 years analysis of the European agriculture market. What is here behind? It was from the European Seed Association. They made a test of all the available data, farm data, trials from the industry. They checked everything, huge data work of 20 years. And they found out that we have between the different crops between 1-2% yield plus every year. And when we look then to these two colors, the green color is showing you then somehow this growth, what you can see outside on farmland. And this yellow color is showing what is coming from breeding. And when we see it here for most of these crops, this yield progress outside in the field is coming by breeding. So in general, we can say everything what you make a plus, what you go forward outside in the field, 66% from this progress is coming by breeding. Let's have a look to rapeseed. It is here shown as this OSR figure. We see somehow breeders doing the job. We have between 1 and 1.5% plus every year, yield plus by breeding, but we don't see it in the field. We don't see this rapeseed progress outside in the field. What are the reasons? Let me show you a little bit the development of breeding, hybrid breeding in Germany. It somehow started 50 years ago when we somehow launched this first modern breeding, and we started with this first zero quality in the 1970s. Later it goes further over double zero quality. Middle of the 90s we start with the hybrid breeding, and the maximum was 2014. We had 4.5 tons average year. That was the top. And then you can see somehow with this blue color, it goes 4 years in a row down. What was the consequence? The loss of the neonic insecticide seed treatment. We lost every year 10% till 2018 when we were below 3 tons. Luckily, we came up then with the launch of this turnip yellow virus resistance, and we can see that this blue line is coming up to a level of almost 4 tons in 2022, which shows us somehow that we are on the right way. But this turnip yellow virus resistance bringing also further consequences. Hopefully, we can discuss that outside in the field. When we have now an overview of hybrids and open pollinated varieties, how is it looking? On the European market today, we are discussing somehow more than 90, maybe 92, 93% of the seeds is hybrid seeds. It's just a few smaller markets where we can still find a little bit open pollinated genetics, but it's really small and less than 10%. These figures is showing here till 2016, but the trend is somehow the same. More than 90% are hybrids. So when these hybrids are somehow so dominating, why is it then not so, let's say, the strong topic here in the Baltics? Why we then still see that farmers are not really want to invest in this hybrid, in this more expensive hybrid seeds? We in Rapul breeding, but I can say that also in general for all the other breeders, we are further developing our genetics, and we had in the last years a big strong push forward with a new mother line which already had this turnip yellow virus resistance included, which give us a chance to make a crossing here with new father lines. In our case with father lines from Poland, and showing then here very well for some of our new genetics a strong yield plus in comparison with this open pollinated variety from Syngenta. So the progress is visible. We see that. let's have a look maybe a little bit, how is it in the different markets, how is it in the different trials. One example just showing that here, mother line from West Europe, father line from Poland, working well. Okay, let's have a look now, how is the yield comparison in different markets under different conditions. And let me start here at first with comparison Czech Republic and here open pollinated varieties, 10 varieties in comparison with 25 hybrid varieties, difference 10%. When we look to Poland, similar figure somehow between 10 to 15% yield difference. When we look to the UK market, here's a little bit different. UK climatic conditions are a little bit more moderate, influenced by the Atlantic Ocean climate. Here, open pollinated varieties are stronger, so the yield difference is somehow 7%. And just a small out of the box example from a new, let's say, growing rapeseed market in the USA. We also see here under very, very tough conditions a strong difference between open pollinated varieties and hybrids. And if we go to your neighborhood in Belarus, for example, where we also still have an state breeding institute, also here up to 30% yield difference between OP and hybrids. And how is it looking outside in the field? The small picture from Estonia is showing that there's really an argument for believing on hybrid seeds. So why now to invest in these expensive seeds? There's a clear point. We have seen that we have somehow in average a half ton plus in comparison to open pollinated varieties. Unfortunately, we also hear once in a while that farmers using farm saved seed from hybrids. So we made couple of years ago a trial on different locations in Poland where we're testing 2 hybrids, and here F1 seeds in connection to F2, and we can see here that we have 11% losses with this farm saved seed. We have a loss also in the oil content, and what we're seeing on the right side, that this variety traits, the resistances are not working anymore in this farm-saved seed. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Just want a little bit to give you a reminder of what means farm-saved seed. When we take this F2, when we take this F1 genetic, these hybrids, and take from these hybrids the seed, the commodity seed, then after harvest, then we have F2. And in F2, we see again then a distribution of the original genetics. So when we have then F2 seeds, we have 25% is then from the mother line, just 50% is still the hybrid, and another 25% is the father line. What it means, for example, in critical cases like clubroot, also a growing issue here in the Baltics, 25% will be not protected anymore because of this splitting, which we all know it's coming from the Mendel rules, somehow more than 100 years old. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a small reminder, be careful with such F2 seeds, and be a little bit more powerful and believe on hybrid seeds for your success. So let me summarize that shortly. We have challenging situations outside in the field, climate change, pests, less solutions from pesticides and so on. We are also struggling then with this impact of more and more temperature in autumn time. We see that hybrid seeds outperforming open pollinated varieties and farm safe seed. That's not the point. We also see that only this innovative hybrid breeding will deliver you these solutions for these challenges which you have outside in the field, and will be somehow this sustainable and trustful progress. So, ladies and gentlemen, looking forward now to see you outside in the field, and want to finish my presentation. Each hybrid has its own story. Find your stories, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rene. Kolēģi, varbūt kādam ir kāds jautājums? Ir viens jautājums. Vari atnākt tuvāk, mēs tevi gaidām.
Very nice presentation. Thank you very much. I was curious, what are the other physiological traits given the climate change and the situation that is becoming more acute here, besides resistance to pest through diseases? What are the physiological traits that breeders are currently working on in winter oxy grain?
Thank you very much for the question. I think the main or the biggest challenge what we see today outside in the field is this impact of this turnip yellow virus resistance. When we launched it, it was because of this yield impact. In that time, 2018, we still see it here also in the field. LG Architect was one of the first strong candidates really somehow changing the market with this yield plus. What we not understand in that time, it was this biomass boost. So these genetics, which you then later see here in the field, they are stronger growing in the autumn time. So this risk of overgrowing, stem elongation and everything is much stronger than 10 years ago. And we also see it of this, let's say, stronger temperature accumulation in autumn time. We see this impact on start of flowering. And I think that was one of the major topics this spring of this late frost topic. So, for example, earlier sowing dates, this strong genetics is somehow also automatically a risk of earlier flowering dates. So that is something where we are struggling at the moment and just understanding that now more and more.